Anyway, so I kind of forgot to start recording the beginning of this. But you know what? We don't worry about that. We just start going and we're going to quote unquote start in a ravine. We grab some copper, we grab some iron, and after we do that, I'm deciding what to do. This would probably be a good time to mention that this is my first time playing on Java Edition, or at least recording on playing Java Edition. I did do a test world before this because, I needed to get all the controls and everything. I need to figure it all out. Anyway, after I look into the crafting bench and decide to do nothing, I realize that I need some stone. I need to grab a furnace, and of course, I need to grab 8 stone for that, at least. Anyway, so after I grab that stone, I go into the copper. The copper? Anyway, I go into the crafting bench, and I grab a furnace, and I needed to smelt all the iron and the copper that I had. And once I do that, I get that all in there. And, okay, we're struggling a little bit, that's fine. And I leave it in there. Okay, it's fine. It's fine to leave it in there. Why did I do that again? Oh yeah, I don't have any coal. Well, anyway, I used the wood that I had in my inventory to do it anyway. I decided to just, get it all over with. I wanted to get as much iron as I possibly could. I get the acquire hardware achievement, and I'm blocking myself in because I did actually do one run before this for this video, but all of that footage is lost because as I was trying to build a base, I built it 2 blocks high instead of 3, and because of that, a skeleton was able to get in, and it killed 37 minutes of footage. Oh my god. Well, anyway, you know what? It doesn't matter. I've already gotten this done. I don't need to worry about doing any more footage. Anyway, I'm smelting the iron, I'm getting that all done. And as I'm doing this voiceover, I'm realizing, why did I include this part in the video? It is literally just me getting the iron slowly. I could have, I don't know, mined a little bit more, maybe strip mine, I could find some iron. But I didn't. I just waited. And waited. And waited. Give me a break, okay? First day. It's like first day on the job, you don't know exactly what you're doing. It's like first day gaming on Java Edition. Did I just compare a job to playing video games? Oh well. Anyway, I grabbed some sticks. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my iron, so I'm gonna grab a pickaxe, right? Right? Past me? I'm gonna grab a pickaxe. No. Okay, no. Uh, I decide to grab a shield. Well, we don't worry about that, okay? I grabbed some armor with the copper and the iron that I had, and I'm smelting it through. This day, this night, it felt really long, but what you're gonna realize in this video is that basically every night was long. Anyway, I smell everything. You know what? I decided to dip because I'm almost on half health, and I just don't want to deal with all the mobs that are in there. And I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'm trying to see if I could find any structures, like a ruined portal or a village, but I wasn't able to find basically anything. So instead, I climb a mountain. I'm thinking maybe I can set up base here for day 2. I can smell whatever's left in my inventory, you know, because of the beef that I had and the leather. I don't know how you smelt leather, but look, I just needed to get stuff done. I needed a shack to do it in so that I don't die to all the mobs during night. Because I suck at PvP. Anyway, I'm getting all the meat cooked, and I decided to start building it. I see sunrise, or not sunrise, sundown approaching, and, I'm blocking myself in. Once again, we do not want a repeat of what happened on that first run. I grab a copper pickaxe, which has the same exact features as a stone. Okay, whatever, man. You do you. Okay, mining montage. I got literally no pieces of anything, not even coal. Although, coal wasn't really an issue, though. I had like 17 pieces. That's a lot, basically. I was able to get all of my meat cooked. I don't know why I tried putting leather in there. I don't remember any of this, to be honest. I've spent like 3 hours editing before doing this voiceover. Anyways, as I leave the mountain, I'm grab some pumpkins for some reason. This did not help me at all in the run. And after I do that, I decide to go into a cavern because most of day 3 was just me walking around trying to find any caves. After I enter the cavern, I decided to torch everything up. It's basically night now. And, oh boy. Everybody get ready because we are about to do another mining montage. Yep. I strip mined and strip mined all around this cave. I have 18 minutes of footage of me just strip mining, basically. Well, anyway, we don't worry about that. It's midway through, what is this, day 4 now, I think? Anyway, and I need a bed. I realize that if I don't want to spend these long nights doing all this stuff, just waiting for all these mobs to leave, then I probably need to grab some sheep for their wool. This poor sheep. Well, anyway, we have 3 pieces of white wool now. Epilepsy warning for this. This is a really speedy montage. It looks like it's just a bunch of flashing images. I I don't know if this actually triggers anything, but I just want to be on the safe side. I don't want to. I just want to be safe. Anyway, I do finally find another cavern, because I'm telling you, that walk took me quite a while. It's basically a repeat of what happened in day 3, where I was just walking, walking, and walking. But eventually, yes, I do find a cave. First thought is, I need to torch this up and I need to find all the iron in there. I'm thinking, I gotta find every single piece. Because when I leave this cave, I'll be able to finally get all full iron. I'll be able to get all the swords I need, like an iron sword. I already have iron tools, but they're on half durability. So. Anyway, I fight some mobs, I need to fight the mobs to get past the caves. I don't want to die. And, to be honest, a lot of this footage is just me mining and fighting mobs. I do finally get the Monster Hunter achievement. And we mine more iron. And more iron. And more iron. I wasn't kidding when I said most of this was just fighting mobs and mining iron. But anyway, I find these skeletons fighting each other, and I'm waiting for one of them to kill the other, and I realize that this is just basically a one tap, so yeah, he's dead. Okay. Anyway. Okay, fighting zombies, I've also fight some spiders in here. I don't know if I probably left that out. I'm telling you, this was so much footage. I had like an hour 27 minutes of footage. I cut it down to like 8 minutes. And like at least a third of it was spent in this cave. I stayed here all the way until like day 7. And I did something very stupid. I decided to go try to kill the witch. And oh no. Uh Okay, that wasn't a smart decision of me to do. Yeah.